Across the country this weekend, cities were racked with gun violence. Outside a theater in Philadelphia, 3 killed, 11 injured in a shooting. Chattanooga, Tennessee, another 3 killed, 14 injured outside a nightclub. More shootings at a graduation party in South Carolina, a strip mall in Arizona. All of this in one weekend. Michael Shellenberger, running for governor in California, is an independent in tomorrow's primary and joins us now. How's this work if you're running for an independent in the primary?
It's good to be with you. We have an open primary system so that anybody can vote for anybody. So I was a Democrat until last year. I could no longer in good conscience be a Democrat, knowing what I had uncovered about the role of Democrats in contributing to the crime and homelessness crisis. But I'm now drawing support from Democrats, independents, Republicans. Again, you can cross party lines. It's the top 2 vote getters who then proceed to the runoff. I believe at this point it will be the governor, Gavin Newsom, who I will face off in November.
All right. How much of Newsom's policies, and if so, which ones, do you think are responsible for the rise in crime in California versus, say, Gascon in Los Angeles and then Boudin in San Francisco's policies?
Well, I mean, the fish rots from the head down. And so what you've seen under Gavin Newsom is that drug overdose and poisoning deaths doubled since he was elected. Homicides went up 30%. We've seen we're deeply under-policed. We need at least 1,500 police officers between San Francisco and Los Angeles alone. The governor's done nothing of significance to get more police officers on the street. He's let 30,000 people out of prison since he took office. He said he would consider closing 1 prison. Instead, now he's planning on closing 3 prisons without rehabilitating the prisoners first.
Fair enough. Hard to imagine why anybody's leaving California these days, considering the tax burden. But given that, and I'll turn it over to Marnie after this, but he won his recall election. People seem to be pretty happy with him.
Yeah, I mean, I think what happened is that it became we're pretty liberal people in California. So it became a referendum on his opponent, who was a very strong Trump supporter, nice guy, but he didn't have a view on the biggest problem in the state. I've been an advocate for rehabilitation for 25 years. People that are addicted to hard drugs or suffering from schizophrenia, like my aunt was, they deserve medical care. They need rehab. There's other people who are violent sociopathic criminals that need to go to prison. But we Californians want to discern between those 2 groups. I'm able to do that. On the far right, they just want everybody to go to prison. On the far left, they want to let everybody out of prison, where they've gone into the homeless encampments. We need a more balanced approach. That's the approach that I've been taking and will take as governor.
Crime and homelessness, obviously big problems for California and for cities all along the West Coast and really the nation for that matter. The economy, though, is going to be the biggest issue come November, especially in California with gas prices where they are. What do you see in terms of not a light switch, which the president says is not possible, but in terms of some short-term fixes to address what Californians are facing and folks across the country with rising inflation?
Yeah, I mean, here again, you've seen Gavin Newsom, but also Democrats more nationally have really pursued the suppression of energy production. The governor of California, he's been trying to shut down our last nuclear power plant. I've been fighting to keep it operating. He's now had to concede that he may keep it open because we're in the 4th summer in a row of blackouts. We also are having water shortages. A lot of people don't realize, you can store more water, you can desalinate water, you can recycle wastewater. He's done none of those things out here. There's basically anti-growth, pro-scarcity environmentalists. I'm pro-abundance. I know that energy abundance is the key to lowering the cost of living, protecting the natural environment, moving towards cleaner sources of energy by making them cheaper is how we solve climate change. So it's really a test between these 2 philosophies of an abundance-based environmentalism versus the governor's and, unfortunately, President Biden's more scarcity-focused environmental agenda.
As we're looking at some of the video of the homeless situation in California, why has it gotten so bad over the last few years? I'm looking at numbers from 2020, and it's continued to go up and up and up. You mentioned the drug issue. What else do you think is contributing to so many people living on the streets right now?
Well, obviously, everybody in the United States has had to deal with the huge drug crisis. We had 17,000 drug deaths in the year 2000. This year, we had 105,000 drug deaths. But it's worse in California. Homelessness increased 31% over the last 10 years, even as it declined 18% in the rest of the United States. The reason for that is that the governor and his party have made it a policy to offer anybody who wants their own apartment. This sounds ridiculous, but it's true. Their own apartment, a free apartment without conditions. We just don't have that kind of, we're a wealthy state, but we don't have that kind of money. There's not enough room in LA and San Francisco to offer that. We need to do what Europeans do, which is to provide clean, basic shelter for people, simple shelter, safe shelter. But then the limited amount of housing that's subsidized by taxpayers should be a reward for abstinence or making progress towards your personal plan towards recovery, since the vast majority of the people on the street are there because of drug addiction or mental illness or both.
Turnout for primaries is not typically all that high. What do you anticipate for tomorrow? Do you think folks are going to turn out to let their voices be heard ahead of November?
Well, I think there's going to be probably around a third of the voters will turn out for the primary. The good news is I think the most passionate people will turn out. Those tend to be my people. We've just got a huge amount of momentum. People, they want to see a middle path of carrots and sticks of tough love, not just punitive, but also not enabling addiction or enabling crime, which is what the current government has done. So a more balanced approach, I think, is drawing a lot of passion from all sides here. We feel like if we can come in second tomorrow and establish tough love as our approach to the crime and homelessness crisis, is really going to be a model for the rest of the United States.
Fair enough if you do come in second, and I would suspect that you'd think that you're going to get a lot of support from Republicans then if you do come in second, that would then cross over. I'm looking at Brian Dale, though, Republican at 10%. Where is this crossover support for you?
Well, we're getting a huge amount of support really from all sides. I mean, again, it's a balanced approach. You know, what the polls have been
Michael, you're at 5%. I'm trying to figure out where the huge support is.
Well, again, that poll, that's an early poll. We hadn't even started advertising before the poll came out. Our own internal polling shows much stronger support. Again, we have 24 hours and we'll find out. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope not. But nonetheless, I think we are drawing support from Republicans who know that. Californians, unfortunately, they don't have any confidence in the Republican Party. They're viewed as anti-immigrant. They're viewed as too aligned with Trump. At the same time, we know Democrats have created the crisis of chaos on the streets. So I do think people are going to give us that we are going to come in second tomorrow. You know, but either way, it's been a historic campaign. We've been drawing more support as an independent than any other gubernatorial candidate in history.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.